It's a good thing I saved this one for last because it broke the rules. Come on, let's dive in and see what I'm talking about. Before we get to the computer that broke the rules, let's do a quick review of what it's like to scrap a bunch of basic PC computers. Now, first you saw me taking out the screws for the power supply. That's usually just 4 screws holding the power supply in. Then I go through and pull out the wire, so ribbon wire, the data cables, the cables for the power supply. Then you pull out the RAM there. Then we're looking at other little cables that go to peripheral devices and lights and things like that. Then we're going to get the heatsink out of the way here. Let's see what kind of heatsink it is, and then we're going to pull the CPU. After that, we're going to unscrew the motherboard. Now this one is on a metal tray, so you pop the metal tray and then you can finish unscrewing it from the metal tray. Most of them are mounted directly to the frame. So it just makes an extra step for this one. Check what kind of board you have, any other miscellaneous things you want to pull, and then you pull your peripherals like your CD-ROM. In my case here, I'm just pulling the board off of the CD-ROM, and then I'm going to pop off the brass spindle that's on one of the motors, pull out a few more cables there, and close it up, and we're done. They all kind of go similarly. If there's a hard drive, you're going to pull the hard drive. If there's more than one CD-ROM, you're pulling more than one CD-ROM. But for the most part, that's the way I approach doing PCs. Get the power supply out of the way, get the cables out of the way, see what we're dealing with for RAM, CPUs, work on the peripheral devices, and close back up and move on to the next one. I want to emphasize that for me, in my case right now, with getting 50 plus computers each week that I have to process without a lot of room for storage, in order to keep up with them, I am made a calculated decision on things that I'm not going to spend time microscrapping for the value. If you're not getting that many, then you definitely want to go after the additional value, like the little motors that are in the CD-ROMs. If you have the capabilities and the skills and you're getting some newer computers, resell them. You're going to get a lot more money that way than what's going on here. It all comes down to your skills and what you have the time and the ability to handle. All right, now, enough of this having fun watching me rip through some computers. Let's get on to that computer that broke the rules. So save this one for last. I'm pretty sure it is a gamer. Got these cool logo kind of stickers on it. Core Duo, so it's not a i-series, but I'm pretty sure this was a gamer because the guy's got or the computer has a big old graphics type processing card here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 RAM sticks in here. Hard drive is still in, so that's interesting. It's got a very fancy copper aluminum type cooling system going on here. It's not water, but it's definitely a higher grade cooling system than what you're used to seeing. So I'm quite certain that this was a gaming computer. Let's go ahead and get this one taken apart and see what we can find in here. What do you say? Sound blaster, Wi-Fi, and you've got a heatsink going over So this one has some sort of dedicated fan going over to the cooling fan. Some sort of airflow kind of thing. There we go. That certainly was high end for its time, I'm sure. You can see it's got, on this back side, there's a gold edge crystal oscillator, and we've got some tiny little screws here to hold that housing on. Let's see if I got this. If I had known this was going to be this much trouble, I wouldn't have put us all through it. Alright, so this part is all cooling. Big old heatsink. Some more screws to get at the aluminum here, and there's a fan here. So that was all cooling. And we got a big old NVIDIA chip on here. And a whole bunch of VGAs here. So, yep, that was probably I'm sure that was one high-end graphics card for its day. Maybe still is as far as I know, but it's in too bad a shape to try to do anything with it. Cool. Let's see how much RAM this thing had. 6 sticks. Two gigabytes, 1 gigabyte, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it was 3 2 gigabyte sticks for 6, and then 3 1 gig. So 9 gigabytes in there. I'm gonna hang on to the 2 gigs separately. Power supply's got some weight to it. I may look that one up and see if that's worth anything. Just a quick reminder, I'm going to be cleaning up those boards with the gold fingers on them. If I take off the brackets, any fans or heat sinks, the board sort pays quite a bit more money for them than if you leave that on. They'll take them if you leave it on, but you get more money if you take them off. So I'll clean those up before I ship them off. Copper stacker. That's cool. Intel Core. Oh, well, the label on the front of the computer was wrong. This is an i7. So now this is also interesting because I'm hoping that you can see that the arm for the bracket right there is straight. Normally when those are straight, it's not an I series CPU. So I think what happened here was somebody upgraded their system, because that the label said Core Duo, that says i7. That's very clearly an i7. So I'm going to put that with the special handling group. Okay, so here's a close-up of the socket from that board that I just took the i7 out of. You can very clearly see the arm is straight, and compare that to what you would normally expect to get an I series out of, which is here from another board, and the arm for the socket bracket lever is bent. You know, that's what I'm used to seeing. So this is a rule breaker for me. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and lay these side by side. There you see a typical I-series socket on the left, and then on the right is the one from the board that I found this i7 in. Well, guess what? After digging around in the internet, I found that the i7-920, the CPU that I pulled off of this straight-armed socket, does in fact come from a socket that has a straight arm. In fact, I found pictures of this exact board. Well, that was really interesting. I'm glad I saved that one for last. I'm going to go ahead and get the hard drive out of here, but if you want to see the load that this computer came in on, go ahead and check out one of the videos linked below, somewhere down there. I look forward to seeing all of you again on the next shark scrapping video.